Mikey Garcia says after he beats Errol Spence, people are going to realize that he's no joke in this game. Stay tuned. Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Now I'm out here in LA. Weigh-in goes on tomorrow for a very good fight, lightweight showdown, unification between Mikey Garcia and Robert Easter Jr. I'm looking forward to this one. I think it's a really good fight. I will be there, so I hope to see a lot of you guys there. And there's been a lot of talk about Mikey Garcia and his recent call out with Errol Spence. And I'll be honest, initially I thought it was kind of for publicity and whatnot, but the talks kept coming. So now it's getting to the point where it's building. Errol Spence is looking for credible opponents. Danny Garcia is fighting Sean Porter for a title, WBC title. So most likely they're not going to come back and be ready by Errol Spence, who just fought Ocampo and destroyed his mandatory. They're not going to be ready to come back by the end of the year, most likely. I mean, most fighters aren't fighting that frequently. So Mikey Garcia, if he gets past Robert Easter and he says he wants to work, then it's a good fight. Both have a name. That I would put that in Texas. That, you know, I mean, it doesn't have to be in Dallas where Spence is from, but I think that would do very good in Texas or LA. But Mikey Garcia said some interesting things to the Players Tribune. This is what he said. There's another fight at the end of the year that I'm looking forward to even more than the fight with Easter Jr. If everything goes well against Robert, I want to challenge for the IBF World Welterweight crown. The undefeated champion is Errol Spence Jr., big, strong, dangerous fighter. Everybody is telling me not to take the fight. Everybody, even my father and my brother. Don't take it right now, they say. Let's go after the other guys first. You don't even need to go to welterweight. You could take on the guys at 135 or 140 where you're a little more comfortable. So I guess that's what's motivating him, just the defiance and people telling him no. So if it's motivating him, guess what? It's motivating me. Mikey's a terrific fighter. Let's see how he looks for Easter Jr. He is putting a lot of pressure on himself because all these talks are coming up before he has another, what is perceived to be a tough fight. Some people were picking Easter, some people were picking Garcia, but on paper it shows that it should be a good fight and a tough fight. So people are going to look at this fight intently now, right? And say like, oh, okay, you got to look damn good versus Easter Jr. So he's putting a lot of pressure on himself, in my honest opinion, because like, let's say he gets knocked down, hypothetically, then, you know, people are going to instantly say like, oh, and you thought you could beat Errol Spence Jr. and you're getting knocked down at 135. You know what I mean? Because we're talking about two whole weight divisions. But the greats have done it, you know. There's a lot of greats. Sugar Shane Mosley. He moved up and fought De La Hoya, moved up from lightweight. Right, Broner moved up from lightweight and fought Paulie Malignaggi for a title. Difference being is Paulie wasn't the biggest puncher, so he probably felt he could take Paulie's punch. And you've seen in his second outing at welterweight, much tougher fight, and he lost and got knocked down in that fight twice. And that was against Marcos Maidana. So it's still like weight matters, you know. Some people say weight doesn't matter. I get, see, people want to play technical. Weight matters and it doesn't. It matters in certain regards. It just depends on who we're talking about. If we're talking about Floyd Mayweather fighting a bigger guy, okay, he's a masterclass boxer. So in that situation, it won't matter if Canelo is bigger than him because he has more technique, faster feet, faster hands, you know what I mean, just higher ring IQ. So in that situation, it wouldn't matter. But when we're talking about other stuff, like if Pacquiao went up and fought Golovkin, then weight would matter. Because even though Pacquiao is a fighter who's very skilled and awkward and stuff, you're talking about a much bigger Golovkin who's a power puncher, you know what I'm saying? So it just looked like Triple G, Kell Brook, right? Kell Brook could have more skill, but Triple G is the bigger guy and he's a big puncher, so you can make more mistakes. Look at Amir Khan versus Canelo. Amir Khan was doing well for himself first 4 rounds or so, but the speed, the hand speed of Canelo, and the accurate punching and the power and the size that wore down Amir Khan. And then when you get to the halfway mark, how are you gonna fare? How are you gonna do? Even if you did great in the first, because at that, when you're at weight deficits, you can't really make no mistakes. You got to be ready. You got to be ready. And if you start to fatigue, which is, unless you're on something, most people are naturally going to have some level of fatigue in a 36-minute fight. You know, how are you going to respond? Do you have the ring IQ to hold this guy off of you? Because Errol Spence is bodying guys at welterweight, like guys who are bigger than him even. You know, Chris Algieri a little bit bigger than him. You look at Ocampo, look a lot bigger than him. Stuff like that. Kell Brook look more muscular and vascular than him. So he's done that to big welterweights, tall welterweights, and everything in between. So listen, if Mikey keeps saying he wants it, then shit, I want it. Because I mean, that's just the nature of the beast. You can't keep calling someone out and mention their name and then we never get to see it. So, you know, if he wants to see it and he wants it and he looks good versus Easter, then I'm down for it. I'll support it. Two big names, two guys. Obviously, Mikey, in his heart, he believes he sees something that he can beat in Errol Spence, and it's going to give him a lot of clout and credibility in doing that, which it would. So let's have at it. But I like the call out. I mean, despite people said Pacquiao. See, I know my boxing people. Like, so Pacquiao, when he moved up to fight Oscar De La Hoya, people in the Philippines were petitioning for Pacquiao not to take the fight. They were trying to not get the fight sanctioned, saying, oh, that's far too much weight, because Pacquiao was doing the same thing. And they're like, oh, Pacquiao's too little, and he's a national treasure and icon, and he's up against too much weight, and Oscar De La Hoya, and then Pacquiao beat the shit out of De La Hoya. So I'm not saying that's what happened here, because that's De La Hoya had been through wars, stopped through fights. You know what I mean? Bernard Hopkins stopped into the body before Pacquiao got to him, and fought Floyd, and you know what I mean, Felix, Tito Trinidad. So De La Hoya had some mileage on him, and he was later in his career as opposed to Errol Spence. So I'm not saying that's what would happen, but it's boxing. So, you know, like I said, you can't just keep talking about a person. And I don't want to hear shit if Errol Spence goes in there and stops Mikey Garcia and or beats him, vice versa. Because I can't even really say vice versa, because nobody, if Garcia beats Spence handedly, like it's a convincing win, everyone's going to give him credit. But I don't want to see people take away credit if this man, Errol Spence, never once called out Mikey Garcia, to my knowledge, before Mikey Garcia started mentioning his name. So if Mikey's calling it against the bequest of his brother and his dad and stuff like that, and he wants to fight, then there is no excuses, because he's the one that said he wanted it. So either way, there can't be no excuses if it does happen. I heard Errol Spence will be in LA this Saturday at least for the fight, so he's probably going to watch it now with a different set of lenses as a spectator. Good fight. Let me know who wins. I still see that being a bit problematic for Mikey. I mean, I'm no different than his dad and his brother in that regard, but like I said, I'm never opposed to seeing it. If he wants it and he feels there's something in there that he can do at welterweight, then hey, you got my support. Let me know your thoughts. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, is Ego signing off.